Hello fellow figure skating fans, I am back again to make a vlog video with my thoughts and opinions on the 2015 Rostelecom Cup competition, also formerly known as the Cup of Russia. If you don't already know, my name is Justin and my Twitter handle is JustinLambChop, where I'm always tweeting compulsively during figure skating competitions. And this weekend, the Rostelecom Cup was no different than any other. I was live tweeting, I was up early using the hashtag, and it was super fun as always. I want to thank everyone who participates in the live tweeting with me. It's always super fun. Now, before I get started with my video, I wanted to give a shout out to my friend Carrie Painter. Hey Carrie, who is my darling friend and a fellow figure skating appreciator and Ashley Wagner fan. And I am so excited to see Ashley's programs next weekend at the NHK Trophy and discuss them with you. So let's begin with the actual event. I'll start with the pairs disciplines, where Team Russia skated away with both the gold and silver medals here. So gold medal winners went to Ksenia Stolbolva and Fedor Klimov. By no surprise to many, they came out with a bang, especially in their short program, hitting all their elements, skating with supreme confidence, and they perfectly embodied the term used in pair skating often, two skating as one. I love how they moved on the ice together, and they both have an equal amount of confidence on the ice, which makes them a really strong pair team. Now, if most of you remember, a few weeks ago at Skate America, they made their season debut and made a lot of big mistakes where they ended up in fourth place. That obviously was not the case here, and I was excited to see them improve and be proud of their performances, mainly in the short program. They hit their throw triple toe, side-by-side triple toes, look completely on. Their long program I didn't like as much as their short program. Their short program I thought was very how do I put it? Very sensual with each other. I like the vibe of the music, kind of like sexy romantic. The long program that they skated to I think is kind of dark, and the facial expressions, especially by Ksenia when skating to this piece of music, just comes off a little bit moody, which works with the music, but it's not something I personally appreciate as a figure skating fan. The judges obviously don't care as much, just my opinion. Their long program was solid enough for the win. They ended up winning over their Russian teammates, Smirnov and Yuko, by a good 8 points. They landed most of their elements, technical elements, cleanly, except Ksenia had some difficulties with the individual jumps. So they were really close with their triple toe, double toe combination, but Ksenia singled the last intended double toe. So that made it kind of awkward to look at. And then also with their other side-by-side jump, Ksenia really was struggling. But otherwise, it looks like this Russian team is back. They are back very strong, and hopefully they will end up making the final. We'll know for sure by the end of next week at the last Grand Prix event before the final. So very good for them. Yay, Team Russia, because they also won the silver medal, someone from Team Russia, which went to Yuko, Kavaguti, and Alexander Smirnov. I had to think about that one because I'm horrible with names. They also had a good performance here. Like their teammates, I enjoyed their short program even more than their long program, and they were just trailing the leaders by 2 points. So it was really close. Many people on Twitter thought that they could have even been in first place. The biggest difference I see between these two teams is that Ksenia and Fedor are more polished, have cleaner lines, are more smooth, but tend to be a little more boring compared to Yuko and Alexander, because they, I think, are more exciting to watch. They grab the audience's attention even more, and they project more, which makes me, want to watch them. I can't take my eyes off of them, but they have sloppy moments. So that's the difference I see between the two pair teams. Short program, really loved. I like her red dress. I think that's very flattering for her, very fitted for the program. And the mistakes really came in the free program where they attempted two quad throws. So I think it was a quad Salchow and a quad loop. Both were failed attempts. And I think that definitely was not a good strategy here. They probably could have had a chance at the gold medal if they were clean with some of their throw elements. I think it was definitely possible for them to win if they were clean, but they were not. I could tell that they're adding in those quad elements because they want to be competitive on the international scene. I think that only works if you can successfully complete these quad throws. They're not there yet. We'll see what their strategy becomes towards the end of the season, especially if they make it to Worlds. But overall, still a really good skate. Alexander's really strong. They're really passionate skaters. It's surprising to me sometimes that they're not married, but they have a lot of passion and chemistry with each other, and Alexander is super strong. The quality of those lifts are really great, especially that last lift where Alexander is on one foot and then just drops her. Excuse me, that was my phone. Let me silence it. I had to hold my breath on that one. Like, wow, that takes mad skills for him to pull off a move like that. So, very good. We'll have to see where they finish off later in the season. Which Russian pairs teams do you all prefer? I think I prefer Yuka and Alexander a little more. So winners of the bronze medals here were the Chinese pairs. Is it Peng and Zhang? I think that's what it is. Not my favorite Chinese pairs. My favorites are Sui and Han. And they looked really well here. So I just want to say I love the coordination of their outfits in both the short and the long program. I love how Zhang is wearing mostly black and has little strips of color that matches Zhang's dress. I think that makes them look great because aesthetically it's kind of weird to look at them because of the height difference and the build difference. So the coordination of the outfits I think is really key to making them look really good on the ice. And the short program was fine, but the long program I think totally fell apart after their quad throw attempt. That did not go good. She was shaken up, and it took them a while to get back into the program, understandably, and they just began missing all of their technical elements, popped their side-by-side triple Salchows, stepping out of their second throw jump. It just was not working for them. It was enough to have them in third place, only probably because they were the other team of such a high caliber at the event, besides the two Russians. They need to go back home to China and rework their technique because they can't keep making these mistakes. I don't think they can afford to do that to place really high at a major competition like at Worlds, which is, I think, they have the potential to be a top 5 pair team, but not with these mistakes that are happening a little too often these days. So unfortunate for them, but I am glad that they were able to secure a bronze medal here. I wanted to give a shout out to 4th place finishers of this competition from Team USA, Tarah, Kayne, and Daniel O'Shea. They had an okay short program. They looked very tense on all of their jump elements, but they were able to make a big comeback for the free program. Skated to Phantom of the Opera, which I'm not going to lie, I'm so tired of hearing, especially after last season. But they came back with a much stronger program. When looking at them skate on the ice, I just think they need time to grow. I don't want to say they look like junior skaters because they don't, but they don't come off as having the experience when they project on the ice as the teams who placed higher than they did. So it's just going to take time. Their program component marks are well in the low to mid 7s, whereas their competitors who landed on the podium had 8s and 9s. So it's just going to take time growing artistically, maybe getting a new choreographed program in the future. And if they want to finish as high as they can in an international competition, they have no choice but to skate completely clean. And in their show program, as I said, Tarah seemed a little tentative in almost all of the jumping passes. But this is still a great outcome for them, a pair of new personal bests, at least for the season. And hopefully they can continue to ride off this momentum and do well at nationals in about a month and a half. Okay, so the next discipline we should discuss is probably men's. Also, by no surprise, our Spaniard skater, reigning world champion Javier Fernandez, won the gold medal. His short program had some surprising mistakes, which had him in second place after that segment. He opened up his intended quad salchow, so it was only a triple, and I think that shook him up a little bit, where the landing on his triple combination later was also pretty wonky. I think I said this in another recap video. This is our second time seeing his short program this season. I really like the short program. Clean lines, a strong choreography. I like that he has very commanding moves. All of his moves on the ice are very intentional. Landings of the jumps when they're on are held and purposefully transitioned into the choreography, which I love. Now, in the long program was where we really got to see the Javier that we know to win competitions. He mainly won the program because he was clean, had 3 quad attempts, so had landed the quad toe in the beginning perfectly, same with the quad sow, but had an error on the 3rd quad attempt on that 3rd quad sow. And then also, I think he had a wonky landing on another jump. But with the 3 quad sows, 3 quad jumps, that's enough points to pull him above the rest of the field. And a lot of the other technical elements that he had were really clean, earning him positive grade of execution marks. So it's a numbers game, and Javier knows how to rack up those numbers. But it's not just about that. He also has the highest program component marks of the competition. And that's very understandable because his skating skills are very great. I don't love his long program. I want to see him skate to a different kind of character instead of like a funky comical one. But you can tell that all of his moves are strong. His blades and his edges are sharp. Like, I want his legs. His legs must be really fit because he has complete control over the blades in his basic movements over the ice. That's high quality skating, and that's what puts him on the top of the podium. For him to be world champion again with Patrick Chan back and Yuzuru Hanyu, pulling out these amazing quad jumps, he has to land every single jump cleanly. A lot of people are asking, is it worth it to have 3 quads? Maybe he can have 2 quads and have all of his jumps be clean. That's something that he and his coach Brian Orser are going to have to work out. Okay, so on to our silver medal winner here at Cup of Russia. Let me look up the name because I'm horrible with this. It's Adian. How do we say his last name? Adian Pitkeev, I think. Sorry for mispronouncing your name, Adian. So Adian, I would say, was the special competitor of this competition. It was a very special, personal moment for him skating in his home country on an international level. It was just so awesome to see him perform really well. I did not expect him to place in second here. He ended up winning the short program segment because other men made errors. He landed a clean quad toe, nice triple axel in his combination. He also hit some really beautiful spin positions in that short program of his. I'm a fan of his short program. You can tell the difference between someone like him and Javier Fernandez because what I said earlier, kind of the control of every movement on the ice, his landings of his jumps are not held as long. His steps aren't as strong, his edges aren't as deep. So that part will come with time because he's only 17 and he has time to grow and develop into an artistic skater. But right now he has the jumps and he's consistent and he performs well. So that's what got him the silver medal here. His long program, I wasn't as much of a fan of. I think it's kind of out of his element. He doesn't look like a ballerina skater. I am quoting the British Eurosport commentators here, but I think they're absolutely right. He's not a ballerina. He shouldn't pretend to be on the ice, but he skated clean enough. His technical content was there. He just had one quad, and he ended up falling on a triple axel. But a lot of the other elements of his program were relatively clean. And as I said before, the special moment was at the end, seeing how proud he was of himself for earning this silver medal here at the Rostelecom Cup. So good for him. And the surprise bronze medal winner here at Rostelecom Cup is Ross Minor from Team USA. Go, Ross! I'm so happy for you. Ross was in third after the short program by surprise because he skated completely clean. Maybe a big part of that reason is because he left out the quad jump. And that's a good thing. If the quad's not consistent for you, it probably should not be in the short program. So Ross's short program was completely clean. Very strong elements. When Ross skates cleanly, I am reminded of how good of a skater he is. Edge quality is good, and actually some pretty nice program component scores as well. And his long program, same story, very good. It was just unfortunate that he fell on his opening quad attempt. However, he did get credit for the full rotation, but he just had an automatic 1-point deduction for the fall. But I think the rest of his program, the jumping passes were there. I love his step sequence. It earned a level 4 for a reason. He has a really strong knee bend. I like how he's able to really get down low on the ice and still have control over his blade. Movements, he pays attention to the choreography. And I think both music selections are perfect for Ross. Like, you hear the music, you see him skate to it, he connects to it. He's really skating as himself, as in he relates to the music and identifies with it. The short program was to, something about New York? I can't remember the exact title. And his second program, his long program, was to two melodies of Queen songs. Yep, it suited him really well. What else can I say about Ross? I'm sad that he didn't do as well at his earlier Grand Prix, so there's no shot at him really making the Grand Prix final. But hopefully this gives him good confidence going into nationals. But as I said, he has to be clean. I think it's wise to leave the quad out of the short program, maybe even the long program if it's not consistent by then. But I'm really proud of him. Proud of this bronze medal. I am also proud of his teammate Adam Rippon, who is in a very close 4th place by, I believe, by less than a point. So Adam really struggled in the short program, falling on that quad Lutz attempt, and I'm pretty sure it was under-rotated as well. He came back really strong for the free program. Did not do a quad Lutz. I think it was attempted, but it ended up being a triple Lutz. But the fact that he was able to land most of his jumping passes cleanly allowed him to rise in the standings, which is his key, is to be consistent, because he was also rewarded with some really high program component marks. And actually in the long program segment, he was second. So he actually placed above Ross Minor there. But in terms of overall points, it was just not enough to make the podium. I'm pretty sure he's a little mad at himself, but hopefully he uses that anger to train really hard for nationals. I think that's all I'm going to discuss with the men. Alright, so the last discipline I'm going to discuss is the ladies' event, where there was a Russian sweep on the podium. I did not want there to be a Russian sweep, but it was kind of interesting to watch it all unfold. Now, the winner of the gold medal went to Elena Radionova, who was first after the short program, and I just knew at that moment that she would win. She had a nice lead over her fellow Russian teammates, and also Alaine Chartrand, who was actually in second place with a score over 67. And I think Elena had a score of about 71. So that was a nice cushion going to the free program. Elena, we saw her struggle earlier this season with her technique and her jumps. So I was not positive that she was going to win this competition, but after I saw that she threw down a strong short program, I had a gut feeling that she would attack just as much as we've seen her do in the past to land on the top of the podium. So that was very good for her. I have to admit, Elena Radionova is my guilty pleasure this season. Yes, she is tacky. No, she is not refined. Yes, she needs better music choice, but she looks beautiful. And I just like that she looks like she's having a good time on the ice. Yes, she needs to straighten out her back and extend her legs more, but hey, if she grits out her jumps and if they're fully rotated, which they usually are, it's hard for me to not like her. So I'm actually a fan of Elena, and I'm okay that she won this competition. Yes, I hope that over time in the future that she continues to grow, add some refinement, a lot of refinement actually to her skating. But that can come in time. If that doesn't happen in the next year or two, my opinion of her may change. But for now, I'm having fun watching her skate. Her Titanic free program, oh boy, my guilty pleasure. Is it something that resembles a classic legendary long program? Absolutely not. It's extremely cheesy. It's hard to even say that the program, even if skated cleanly, is respectable. But I love how she skated it. Triple Lutz, triple toe, double axel, triple toe, all skated cleanly. She was actually second in the free program segment by less than like half a point to Evgenia Medvedeva, but her short program cushion was what made the difference. Not much else to say about her. I like how she looks on the ice more this year. She's taller, and I like her dresses. They're not screaming at us as they were in seasons past. Yeah, not much else to say. Let's move on to the silver medal winner now. It was Evgenia Medvedeva, who surprised everyone in the short program because she fell on her Tano triple flip. And girl, if you're going to do a Tano jump, you're expected to land it. No excuses. So she does make errors, but I will say she is, in my opinion, right now the strongest Russian lady skater. That's who everyone, including Elena Radionova, needs to look out for. I think she's coming for the Russian national title, and she's definitely eyeing the world podium this year. She came back very strong in the free skate. As I said earlier, she won that segment, and for a reason, because her jumps are on. She relates well to the music. Her skating skills are not bad. I actually think they're kind of good. The PCS scores are padded, obviously because she's a Russian skater and this competition is in Russia. Nothing we can do about that. But they're not bad. I understand her high PCS scores. I think they're a little too high, but at least she's not a sloppy skater receiving those marks. Very good. What to say about her long program? I'm spacing out. I apologize. But the more I see her skate, the more I'm reminded that she's a great skater and that she's very pretty, especially when the camera is very close up on her face. I'm still really annoyed by the fact that she does a Tano jump on almost all her passes. It's actually quite annoying. I would like to see that go away. Or maybe add some variety. Maybe on some jumps there could be 2 hands up instead of just 1. But it's definitely excessive, and I don't find it pleasing to watch at all. Let me take a look at her protocols to see if anything stands out. Nope, it looks like the only mistake that she had was a step out on a double axel. Triple flip, triple toe. What's interesting to note looking at her protocols is that there's no under rotations at all. 0 carats. Same goes for Elena Radionova. So these are some really strong women skaters that the rest of the world has to compete against. So I'm looking at our US skaters. If you have problems under rotating your jumps, that should be something to fix very soon. Now let's talk about the bronze medal winner, Adelina Sotnikova, the reigning Olympic champion. This was her competitive debut this season on the Grand Prix circuit, and let's just say I think she is very lucky to have received the scores she did and earned a bronze medal. I don't think her short program was that strong. She looked tentative on all of her jumps, and her PCS scores were extremely inflated. Yeah, she actually was fourth after the short program, and I was thinking that she would remain in the fourth place position overall after the free skate, but that did not happen. In the free skate, I thought she looked very weak with all of her jumps, and she actually fell down on a double axel at the end of her program, and also got hit with 2 downgrades, not under rotations, downgrade calls. Opening triple lutz and triple toe. That triple toe was downgraded, same as the one on the double axel triple toe combination. Also did a double flip single toe. And if you look at her program component marks, they are all in the mid-8s. And I question the performance execution line of the PCS. They should not be 8s when you have 2 downgrades and a fall, and you pop your jumps. That just can't happen. We have to remember that we are in Russia, and she is the reigning Olympic champion, so she gets padded. She gets her scores padded. There's nothing we can do about it. I should not waste my energy complaining about it. That's just how it is. I probably would have placed her in 5th place after this competition. But what can we do? She looks stronger than we've seen her in the past, and what's interesting is that I enjoy watching her skating now more than I did before she won the Olympics. And I think it's just her packaging, her being a little more confident on the ice, choosing better programs to skate to. But it would be interesting to see how long her season lasts, if she places well at Russian Nationals and even qualifies for Europeans or Worlds. But I probably would have placed her 5th, maybe 6th here with fair judging. What can you do? Let's talk about who I think should have won the bronze medal here, which was U.S. skater Polina Edmunds. Really brought it together, skated a really clean program in the short and in the long. It's actually saddening that she did not place higher. She did not receive any under rotation or edge calls for her jumps, at least in the short program. So that was actually a big improvement for her. The long program, however, is a different story. She got 3 carats, so 3 under rotation calls, the triple sal, the combination triple flip, and the triple loop at the end of her program on the triple loop double toe combination. So that's something she definitely needs to work on. She got a triple lutz triple toe cleanly in the beginning of her free program. So that was a highlight of that segment. But I also didn't like her dress, and how do I put it this way? She's always lower in the standings at these competitions despite having good technical content. I think it's because of her programs, and therefore her program component marks are low. They're in the low to mid 7s, whereas all the Russian ladies were in the 8s and 9s. Polina has to start skating to better music to get not only the audience excited, but to get herself excited. If she's not excited about her programs, we're not going to be as viewers as well. Therefore, her program component marks are going to suffer. I have yet to see a spark in her skating after the Olympics happened. So hopefully that's something that can be changed in the near future, and I mean next season. I think I want to see her love her short and her long and skate with complete confidence, and I want to see a spark in her eye because I don't see that yet during the performance. So that's something for her to work on. And let's talk about Rika Hongo, who finished in 5th place. ugh, a lot of us expected her to do much better. Made mistakes in both programs. The short program was surprising to most people because she got her triple toe called under-rotated in the combination. And then in the free program, there was zero spark in that river dance. We saw her at an earlier competition this season on the Grand Prix where she really performed that piece of music and impressed many of us. She did not impress me at all at Rostelecom Cup this weekend. Her footwork sequence lacked energy big time, and the mistakes just kept piling from one jump element to the next to the next. It was just an off day. I don't think this is going to change her course for the season. I believe that she trains really well, and she's proven time and time again that she is consistent. That is her best quality. So I don't expect that to change anytime soon. I want to believe that this was a fluke skate and a fluke competition. And then the last lady I will mention is one of my favorite Canadian skaters. Actually, I'm not going to lie, I like all the Canadian female skaters. Alaine Chartrand. Her moment this season was that short program at Rostelecom Cup, which scored her a super high score of 67 points. How did she do that? By landing a beautiful, completely clean triple lutz, triple toe combination at the beginning of that short program. And then having nice high speed into her all of her elements, including the spin that came right after. I thought she looked gorgeous. Unfortunately, she did not skate well in the long program. She actually fell apart. Went for the triple axel attempt, which I think was a bad idea. Got a downgrade call, a few more falls, a few more under rotations. It was not a good performance. I recommend for her that if it was the triple axel and missing that affected the rest of her program, to take it out. Because she could have had a moment if she was clean with the triple triples and just doing a double axel. But I did want to give a shout out to her because her short program was so good. Hopefully she was able to win a small medal for doing so well in the short program. I'm not sure if they just do that at Worlds or if they do it in the Grand Prix as well. But that's definitely a moment that she should hold on to. Her season is not doomed, but she needs to rethink that triple axel attempt in the beginning. Alright everyone, thanks for making it through this video with me. I am so excited that next week is NHK Trophy, and I'll be back to do a blog video with my thoughts on that opinion. So I'll see you all then. Bye everyone.